Hey folks, this is JR with DIY Prepper. Welcome to the channel. Whether you've been a prepper for a long time or you're just getting started, you know that one of the biggest problems that we face is having enough money to pay for all the different things that we need. Food storage just by itself can get pretty pricey. Then you combine that with all the different kinds of gear that we need or think we need, then prices can definitely add up quick. So today I'm going to share with y'all some things that you can do to make some extra money to put towards prepping supplies. And none of these are going to be get rich quick schemes. Those are tacky and they don't really work that well. Most of this stuff is going to be things that you kind of have to work at. It might actually take a little while before you start making money off of it, but once you get it going, it could be a good way to make some consistent income on the side once you kind of hit a groove with it. But the first thing that anybody can do, and that's kind of a one-off, is just have a garage sale. In addition to making some money that you can put towards prepping supplies, it also helps clear out some junk out of your house that you're not needing anyway. And most of the time, you're not going to make a whole lot of extra money at this, but it could be a little bit. The next level up from that is flipping things that you find at garage sales or flea markets that you visit. And a good candidate for that, first of all, would be toys. And it doesn't even have to be like super rare things. It could just kind of be more vintage stuff. You buy it at a garage sale or flea market, you find an online sales group, and you sell it for a little bit more. Another thing you can do that with is tools, and probably garage sales would be a better option for this, especially if they're just wanting to get rid of stuff, because usually the folks that set up at flea markets kind of know what they have, but you could do a similar thing with that. Also clothes. When I was growing up, one thing my mom did is she would hit garage sales, resale shops, find some kind of higher end clothes, and then resell it on eBay, and she made quite a bit of money. Now, things have changed a lot since that happened. I mean, that was probably at least 20 years ago or more that she did that, so I don't know if the platform is as good for that anymore, but you could probably do the same thing with those online sales groups like, Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace has some stuff if you're still on there. Then also antiques can be another good one, but a lot of the folks that are selling those know what they have. Then also, if you get really into it, then you can also do storage units as well. I don't know if y'all ever saw Storage Wars. Yep. If y'all did, y'all remember that guy. But I know some folks, they actually do go out to those storage unit auctions. They pick those up and they can make some money off of it, but you really have to know what you're looking for and be able to gauge what's in those different units. Another thing you can do to get more money for prepping supplies is just shop around for insurance quotes. I know earlier this year I was overpaying for both my homeowners and my car insurance, and I saved quite a bit of money just by switching from one company to another. And by saying that, I'm not trying to sell y'all anything. It's just something to look at, but be aware that if your home maybe needs a new roof or needs other kinds of repairs, switching your homeowner's insurance may not be the best idea because they do require an inspection to start up policies a lot of the time, and you don't want to be in a situation where you drop your coverage with one company, you go with another, and then they either just drop your coverage outright or they tell you, you have to get a roof by this date or we're dropping your coverage. So then you were trying to save money, but it ended up costing you several $1,000s because you have to make significant repairs to your home. Another thing that you could do to get some extra money for preps is seasonal work. We just got done with Christmas, so people were needing delivery drivers and folks to work in stores, so that's kind of wrapping up. But in a few months, we do have summer coming up and they're gonna need lifeguards. So something like that might be something worth looking into. Another thing that you can do to make some extra money for preps is content creation. You can do YouTube, which is what I'm doing right now, or you can also have an income producing website, or you can do freelance for people who are doing those things. Now, a lot of this stuff, of course, it's gonna be very techy and it's gonna take a long time to get something established and to get it where it's making any real money. I mean, it could even take years before it's making pocket change, just depending on how you do it. But once it gets running, if you're able to establish yourself, you can make some good money doing that, and also you can get preps that maybe you wouldn't be able to otherwise. That was one thing I experienced shortly after my channel took off. I was able to get things like solar generators that when I was just working as a teacher, there would have been no way that I could have bought those just on my, paycheck to paycheck salary life. There's no way that I would have been able to do that. So this kind of stuff, it does open doors, but like I said, it does take a long time to get it up and running. And if you're worried about the technical aspect, particularly for something like YouTube, your videos don't have to be all that complex. My videos, they're fairly complex just because that's how I like to do it. But I mean, you can make videos just sitting and talking to the camera without any additional footage whatsoever. There's a lot of people that do that and they do have success. A more traditional way to make some extra money for preps is to just sell stuff that you produce yourself. So if you're somebody who likes to garden, then you can sell like the fruits and vegetables that you grow at farmers markets, or even like if you just start plants, you can sell seedlings at those as well, particularly if they are heirloom varieties. Then you can also do different types of craft things. A lot of people sell stuff on Etsy. I don't know if I would necessarily go that route because I think that they take a large percentage of what you make off of it. Also, you could sell digital resources like PDFs. Say you're somebody who's like a teacher, then you can sell the materials that you make for your class on websites like Teachers Pay Teachers. And then I'm sure that there's other things that you could do for other things. Maybe you're an expert in something, make an ebook. Also, you can sell furniture that you make if you're into carpentry. Then you can also sell clothing and maybe set up shop at a flea market, have sort of a boutique. I know around here something my wife has noticed is there's a lot of clothes for little girls, but there's not a whole lot of clothes for little boys. So if it's the same thing where you live, maybe you could take advantage of that. Then also, aside from selling stuff that you make, you can also sell services. Photography is one of those, but once again, that's another thing. It does take a while to gain the skills that you need to be proficient at it. Then also, you can sell carpentry as a service, like maybe furniture assembly. Maybe you don't have the tools that you need for a full workshop where you can build tables, cabinets, and all that. But somebody buys like a little piece of furniture, they don't want to mess with putting it together, you can charge 30 bucks to assemble it or just something like that. Babysitting is another one, although it is becoming a little bit more regulated in certain areas. A lot of that's for child safety reasons, but it's also so the state can get a little bit extra money as well. Let's not kid ourselves. Then also dog walking or taking care of animals while people are on vacation. You can also, if you are a musician, do gigs, maybe at restaurants, or maybe if you're somebody who does like trumpet, trombone, something like that, then you can play at churches on holidays. Also, bookkeeping might be a good one, although you would need credentials for that. Tool sharpening can be another good one, but I mean, of course, you need the equipment and experience necessary to actually do a good job, because I think there's a lot of tool sharpening services out there where it kind of looks a little grungy once they get done with it. Don't be that guy. Pressure washing is one I've seen a lot of people get into. You would probably want a really good pressure washer long term, but you could probably get you something fairly inexpensive to get started with and then quickly be able to trade up once you're making money off of it. Then also landscaping. I mean, you always hear about the kid mowing yards for people to get a little bit extra allowance money, but I mean, you can turn that into a full-blown business. You get enough clients, you can do everything from, you know, just mowing and maintaining yards all the way to installing flower beds and other landscaping for people. Another thing you can do is teach English online, although there are some weird things about doing that may not make it the most desirable side job. The main one being that you have to work really weird hours sometimes, because a lot of those folks who you will be providing services to live on the other side of the planet, and it ain't daytime the same time over there that it is here, so you would kind of have to work around their schedule. Then you can also do delivery and rideshare services, and I know that there are some significant issues with some of those companies, but considering how prevalent it is, I thought it would be worth mentioning. Then also just taking advantage of the gig economy. It could be things like writing or proofreading. If you have technical skills and a good eye, graphic design could be another one. Check Craigslist or maybe like local forums like nextdoor.com to see if people are just needing odd jobs done around their house, and you can provide your services there. Then also you could be a notary if you want to. You might be able to make a little bit of money off of that. Then there is the old tried and true method of donating plasma. I did that a couple of times when I was in college, but alas, I am terrified of needles, So that wasn't really a long-term fix to getting money, even when I was desperately broke. And another thing you can do to make extra money for preps is drive a bus. And I know most people probably think of a school bus when they hear that. I know you're probably thinking, ew, gross, don't want to do that. And I don't blame you, because the kids are unruly and it's truly psychotic on those buses. But it's not all about school buses. You can also drive charter buses on the side. I was a band director and we would take kids to Six Flags or to competitions and things like that. And one of our charter bus drivers, he was a police officer for his day job, and then he drove charter buses on the weekend. So you can get a job where you're driving something nicer than just a school bus. Then of course there's other things like couponing, which I don't have much experience with myself. It's just not something I've had the discipline to get into. But I'm sure there's a lot of other ways that you can make extra money for prep. So if you have thought of something that maybe I left out, be sure to put that in the comments below to help out somebody else. Thank y'all for stopping by. Y'all have a good one.